The Torah tells us in the beginning of Parshas Ki Savo about the mitzvah of Bikurim. This mitzvah entailed the farmer taking the first fruits of the season, bringing them to the Beis Hamikdash, and offering them to the Kohen. And the ceremony took place in which the farmer spoke about his connection to the history of the Jewish people, and really to praise and thank Hashem for the fruits that he was able to offer. The way in which the farmer offered these fruits was not hand to the hand of the Kohen. Rather, the Torah tells us in a teneh. A teneh is a basket. And the Mishnah in Bikurim tells us something fascinating, that the farmers who were wealthy would offer the fruits in a basket that was made of silver, where the farmers who were poor would offer the fruits in a basket made of wicker. What's intriguing is that the Mishnah says that the Kohanim would return the silver baskets to the farmers who were wealthy, and they would go home with their silver baskets. But the farmers who were poor, who offered the wicker baskets, the Kohanim kept their baskets. They kept the wicker. And it's intriguing because one would think the opposite should have happened. One would think that the farmer who was wealthy, who offered the silver basket, what do they need their silver basket for? The Kohanim should have kept it for themselves, kept it for the Beis HaMikdash, maybe even given it to the poor farmer. But the poor farmer, who that wicker means something to, that wicker basket, the poor farmer has nothing, and meanwhile, the poor farmer went home empty-handed, whereas the wealthy farmer went home with their silver. How do we make sense of it? So Rabbi Yisachar Dov Belz, Zechet Tzadik Livracha, explains and suggests as follows. He says, Rashi on the pasuk says that when the farmer offered the bikurim to the Kohen, there was a bas kol, a heavenly voice that came out and said that next year you should be zocheh, you should merit to do this again. So because of that, the Kohanim would give the wealthy farmer the basket back so that next year they could offer that silver basket again with bikurim, that they should be able to have the success of this year, they'll be able to have next year as well. Whereas when it came to the farmers who were poor, who offered their bikurim in the wicker basket, there the Kohanim, when they heard that it should be next year again, they wanted to keep those wicker baskets so that the mazel, that the bracha would change for those poor farmers, and that perhaps next year the poor farmer would be able to come with a different basket, a basket made of silver. And how beautiful it is that the Kohanim had that thought in mind, that they wanted to look forward for the poor farmer and to say to the poor farmer, you don't have to remain this way. Hashem should bless you, that next year you should have more success than this year. Whereas when it came to the wealthy farmers, the Kohanim said, Hashem should bless you, that you return this next year as you did this year. While we are in the midst of Elul, what a powerful message this is for us. Many of us look at Elul right now and we say, I'm in the same position I was in last year. Nothing has changed. The year may not have changed or may not have been so successful on a spiritual level, on a religious level, and even on a financial level. And to that, the message of the Kohen is loud and clear to all of us, and that is that for those of us who have felt successful in this year in those areas, next year can be the same and even greater. And those of us who have not succeeded, next year could be different. And so as we reflect on the month of Elul and we prepare ourselves for next year, we hope, we daven, we try to connect to Hashem so that He fills our basket and make sure that our basket is full of all of the fruit of His brachos that He gives us, and that we are able to present to Him as ashirim, as those who are wealthy spiritually, religiously, and financially. May we be zocha, may we merit to truly internalize this very special message of the month of Elul. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.